Hey, it's Mike Hambright from FlipNerd.com. Welcome back for another VIP Flip Show. Today I have with me Ross Hamilton, who's the CEO of ConnectedInvestors.com, one of the largest real estate investor communities and marketplaces on the planet. He's got a lot of great information to share about community and about some of the coming changes in the real estate investing industry. Before we get started, let's take a moment to recognize our featured sponsors. RealtyMogul.com is an online marketplace for real estate investing, connecting borrowers and capital from accredited and institutional investors. Get a rehab loan fast and close in as little as 10 days. Rates start as low as 9%. We'd also like to thank National Real Estate Insurance Group, the nation's leading provider of insurance to the residential real estate investor market. From individual properties to large-scale investors, National Real Estate Insurance Group is ready to serve you. Please note, the views and opinions expressed by the individuals in this program do not necessarily reflect those of FlipNerd.com or any of its partners, advertisers, or affiliates. Please consult professionals before making any investment or tax decisions, as real estate investing can be risky. Hey, Ross, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks so much for having me.
Yeah. Looks like you're in a cool workplace there. I'm in an office all by myself, and I don't have any friends here, so... Yeah.
Thanks,
well,
man.
Hey, for those that don't know you, why don't you introduce yourself and then obviously tell us some more about Connected Investors, which is obviously a huge community.
Yeah, my name is Ross Hamilton. I am based out of Wilmington, North Carolina. And back in 2006, 2007, I accidentally started ConnectedInvestors.com, which has since then become the world's largest network of real estate investors. And back then, I was just hustling, just knocking on doors, just doing anything I could to find properties to flip. And I realized something: the more people I knew, the more deals I closed. Yeah. So I started a community of investors, and here we are today.
Yeah. And so talk about Connected Investors when you kind of started, how it started out. And at the time, I'm sure it was a way for you to do more deals. It's obviously become something much bigger than that. So talk about why you originally did it and some of the benefit you got. And then obviously now a lot of the benefit that is being created is for a lot of other people. So kind of talk about how that's changed or evolved.
Yeah, and once you guys get involved in CI, you'll realize just how beneficial it is for you. But let me just kind of let you know the story about Connected Investors. It started out very organically. I was just a real estate investor, started flipping properties when I was 19 years old, wrote the book, Real Estate Investing in Your 20s, and was just, started out with no money, no experience, no clue really on what I was up against, the kind of typical story, but I just went at it really, really hard all day, every day. And I was constantly going out to meetings to meet other investors to try to figure out what they were doing, what's working. And, I got to a point in my real estate business to where I started making a lot of money. Right when real estate had that nice upswing back in the day, I was right there, and we were flipping properties, making money hands over fist, and I had a lot of extra money. And that's right around the time that MySpace came out. And Facebook was kind of a new thing that, was more of a class scheduling software than anything else. And LinkedIn was just, nothing at the time. And I tried to flip deals using MySpace, and it just didn't work. MySpace was just all about parties and music, and that's fine, but it wasn't really where I wanted to invest my time. Yeah. So I said, you know what? Real estate is a very natural, social business. So pretty much just on almost gut instinct, I just said, hey, let's give it a shot. And I threw a little bit of money to start Connected Investors up. Like I said, back in 2006, I think we bought the domain name in 2005, and it just started organically growing. People liked connecting. They liked having a network that wasn't filled with, spam. It was all real estate content. People that were in there were doers. And it just was a way for me to do more deals, and a way for me to sell deals to people that were joining and buy deals from people that were joining, and it was just a fantastic addition to real estate.
Yeah. And at the time, were you primarily just trying to use that as a platform in your market? Or from the very beginning was the intention to be much bigger?
Well, when we first started it, we saw what MySpace had done, and I was buying properties outside of my market, and that was one of the biggest challenges. I was setting up different areas all around the country that I was buying properties in. I was in North Carolina buying properties in Texas, and back in early 2006, that was really, really challenging because you didn't know anyone in Texas.
Right.
So there was really no way to connect with investors. So we launched it. It got really popular in my hometown, and then in other areas that real estate was popular, it started to really unfold and help a lot of people.
Yeah, yeah. So for those that aren't familiar with Connected Investors or are not members, talk a little bit about what the platform is. And I know you're about to have a grand reopening of a lot of improvements, but talk a little bit about what the platform is for somebody that doesn't yet use it, or even those that do use it that aren't using the new functionality that's coming.
Yeah, absolutely. Connected Investors, in essence, is a real estate investing marketplace where people that are buying and flipping properties can buy and sell properties with a social media wrapper around it. So that's kind of a fun visual way to explain it. Another simple way to explain it is, imagine LinkedIn just for real estate with an MLS of investment properties in the middle. So the whole reason you're in Connected Investors is to sell properties. Either you're going to buy them and get them under contract to sell them, or you have a property you need to sell quickly. But the function here is to give you a place to quickly find people to put together a deal, to buy and then resell, an investment property.
Right. And talk a little bit about the social aspect of it, like some of the ways you create community outside of the deal marketplace, if you will.
Yeah, great. Something that we've done in our community that I've never seen done before is the ability to follow areas. So if you look at any other social sites, you're following people or you're friends with people, and that works great for sites like LinkedIn and Facebook. But real estate is really geography based. So when you sign up to connectedinvestors.com, you're going to go ahead and put in your 3 target locations, and then what it's going to do is pull everything that's happening in those areas. The investment properties, the discussions, the investors that are in those areas, and you get a bird's eye view of the investment activity that's happening in the areas that matter most to you. And we did this for the busy real estate investor. I'm busy. Everyone here is busy, right? You're out, you're doing things, and when you sign up to a lot of social accounts, it takes so much time before you get value out of them because you have to friend all these people. And come on, who has time really to friend people? We just want to know what's going on. We want to know who the movers and shakers are, and we want to buy and then sell investment properties, to these individuals or through these individuals. So that's one of a few things that we're doing that's very, very different inside Connected Investors in our community. That's not out there. And
Sure. And in terms of some of the relaunch or some of the upgrades that are coming or the improvements you're making to the site, talk a little bit about some of the changes that are happening, and if you can, talk about timing.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, one thing that we're really excited about with the launch of Connected Investors 3.0 is the levels function that we built inside the platform. We spent a lot of time speaking with the top real estate investors, in the United States, outside of the United States, people who are actively buying and selling thousands of properties, people that have lots of money that are moving into real estate. And we did a lot of customer discovery, and we asked them, why don't you use social media and or Connected Investors? And they didn't want to deal with tire kickers. I'm sure you guys have experienced that. You want to deal with real people. Yeah. So what we've done with our levels is we have basically levels of verification that provide a clear and concise path for our members to where they can get to those higher net worth individuals. We have a starting level, and then it goes all the way up to people who have verified they have a net worth of 10 million plus. So what this does is it brings a lot of capital into the platform and provides liquidity into our marketplace. So even if you don't qualify for the Deca Millionaire platform within Connected Investors, know that those people are seeing your properties, they're seeing your posts, and when they're ready to reach out to you, they will at your discretion. This brings a lot of great people into the platform so you can connect and partner with them.
Right. Okay. And talk a little bit about, I know you're kind of building the site around the way that you see the real estate investing industry evolving, which has changed a lot over the last few years. Just the way that people operate even aside from any kind of the political changes or economic changes, just technology is changing the way that we all operate. I mean, I've personally, closed houses, bought and sold houses from outside of the country from my iPad, just have the ability to wire money and sign contracts and all sorts of stuff. So, but talk a little bit about where you see things evolving and kind of how you're wrapping some of that stuff into your platform.
Yeah, for someone like you who understands real estate and kind of looks at it more like a commodity, what we're really going to do for individuals like you is increase the liquidity of real estate. And what's happening in the market right now, I don't know if you guys have been paying attention to Wall Street, but Wall Street is all getting involved in real estate. You need to keep your eye on this, because this is changing the dynamic of real estate. Now that we have Wall Street money in here, turning into landlords. I mean, they're buying tens of thousands of properties, and they're securitizing the rents, and they're selling that to Wall Street, with all these new cool ways to do it. So what that means is now Wall Street is in real estate, and they're not going anywhere. And you're going to be competing with, in some areas, and working with Wall Street in a lot of different ways. You need to understand how big money is going to affect your local real estate market. And everything we're doing in Connected Investors is designed to streamline real estate, drive down costs, and increase the overall liquidity in the real estate market. So these big funds out there know that if you're a flipper and if you're able to dig up properties, these big funds, they need you, because they just want to get $5,000 or $10,000 properties in their portfolio so they can package them up, sell the rents, and go back to the Hamptons. They don't want to do all the hard work. So there's a huge opportunity for active property flippers to really become a portal, a direct link to on-the-ground transactions for these big companies that are trying to come into different markets. So a lot of what we're doing with our marketplace is helping the individual investor that knows what they're doing link up with the big institutional Wall Street money that needs you, because they need you just as much, if not more, than you need them.
Right. And talk a little bit about, obviously, if you were to kind of look at the pool of real estate investors that exist in America, there are some really successful people at the top that do a lot of high volume, and there's a ton of newbies or folks that are doing a few deals here and there. I mean, probably like more than 95%, let's say, or those that have an interest in getting involved and haven't yet. So talk a little bit about how you serve that community of, I'll just call them newbies.
Yeah, for someone who's brand new to real estate, when they step into Connected Investors, they have information available to them that basically instantly throws them in the game. It's kind of like jumping into the stock market. You can kind of see, okay, this is what's going on. Let me get a feel for what's happening. And you can move into real estate with realistic expectations. You can know who the players are, the properties they have, and you can get a real good feel for your local market very, very quickly. And you're really lucky to be getting involved in real estate right now with technology where it is, to where you can flip deals from your iPad while you're in Mexico, to big Wall Street money coming in, to where you can easily now raise money for real estate. It was a lot harder, 2 years ago, and even 6 years ago it was a lot tougher. And being able to see properties with Google Maps, I mean, right now is really the best time for a new person to get involved in real estate, especially because you can connect with successful investors. And there's only one shortcut to real estate success, and that's connecting with more experienced investors.
Sure. And talk a little about with technology and a lot of things that are changing is, a big part of the opportunity that existed when you started and when I started in investing was just the fragmentation. It's an inefficient market, right? But the real estate investing market we're kind of watching it become more efficient by leaps and bounds before our eyes because of institutional players and technology and things like that. So where do you think the opportunity is going as markets become more efficient?
That's a great question. As markets become more efficient, the opportunity just shifts. The inefficiencies, it's really annoying to capitalize on those inefficiencies. Like I said in the beginning of the interview, I used to go to the courthouse, pull records, knock on doors, scrape through all of this stuff. I was literally scraping for deals. So it's really nice to be able to operate in a more efficient real estate market. And this limbo period that we're at right now is just absolutely perfect, because there's still so many counties that are still so behind. And when I say counties, I'm talking about just public records of real estate and different things you can do like that. Then there's also counties that are just really fluid. So as far as operating in an efficient real estate market, I don't have a crystal ball. I wish I did, but I'm excited about that day coming, and we're planning on being a really, really big part of that efficiency. And that's the mission here at Connected Investors, to make it more efficient. So I've been through the pain.
Yeah, hey, I understand. So what kind of advice would you give to newer real estate investors that are looking to get started? You, just like me, believe that surrounding yourself with others, being around other successful people doing this, finding places to get great knowledge are all very important. What kind of advice would you give to somebody that's looking to get started in real estate investing?
Yeah, great question. And the great thing about that question is I don't think my answer will ever really change. And, not a semi-shameless plug here, but my book, Real Estate Investing in Your 20s, is essentially written almost as a diary of when I started. You can kind of see exactly what I did to kind of get through. And you hit the nail right on the head when it comes to connecting with other real estate investors. Gosh, I would have never been able to get a start if I didn't pull myself out of my comfort zone and just go out there and just these other investors, because every market's different. So tip number one, guys, you got to connect with investors. You got to build real, meaningful relationships. One of the traps people get caught in is they're friends with everyone but don't know anyone.
Right.
Just think about 6 good, solid people is all you can really build a solid relationship with. So don't feel so overwhelmed and think, oh my God, I need thousands of people. You need 6 solid people, and from there you're 1 degree away from everything you need, and then you just have to pick an investment technique and go for it, and just jump in.
Yeah. What advice would you give folks, back to your comment about essentially focus, like find one niche? I know some people that I won't say any names, but I was speaking somewhere at a large event recently with somebody else, a number of other people, but I was talking about staying focused. And I've bought hundreds of houses, and I either rehab, wholesale, or assign, or keep them as rentals. I don't do anything with notes, multifamily, mobile homes, on and on and on. And I think all those things have merits and are great. It's not what I'm saying what I've done, but I've tried to stay pure. Clean in terms of I'm focused on, essentially the fundamentals of real estate investing, I'd say, for single family houses. And somebody else was talking on, I don't even remember the number, but it was a high number. It was like 128 ways to buy a house. And I think for a lot of newer people, that's just paralyzing. But talk a little bit about that dichotomy of people that are usually either teaching, here's one way to do things, or here's a million ways to do things. And I think it paralyzes a lot of folks from ever getting started.
Yeah. And what I'd have to say about what you've been able to do with your focus is you said you wholesaled, you rehabbed, and you were a landlord. Those are 3 separate businesses that you're good at each business. But it's important to understand that if you're a wholesaler and you start rehabbing, you just started a new business. I know it's in real estate, but it's a different animal. And then if you start landlording, it's a different business. So focus is the make or break of all real estate investors. And the biggest lie real estate investors tell themselves is, as long as I'm within real estate, I'm focused. What that does is it gives you a hall pass to try to broker money, to try to do notes, to try to do tax liens, to try to develop land, to try to do trailer parks, to try to do all these other niches. And it's really important to everyone wants multiple streams of income, right? But you want to make sure it's a stream of income and not a drip of income or a hole to shovel your time and money into. What you've done is a very organic, natural evolution of a real estate investor who goes from wholesaling to wanting to make a little more money, and then they start rehabbing to get some confidence. Then they're like, I got to build long-term wealth. Let's landlord. I'm sure you jump into saying, I'm going to do all 3 of these things.
Right.
So just maintain your focus and have a group of people that you run your ideas by, that you trust their opinions prior to going down another path. If you're doing really well in residential, know that the second you jump into commercial, you start a new business, and it's okay. But have some people that you can run that by that actually care about your success. And it's not just the real estate agent trying to sell you the property or the wholesaler trying to sell you the deal. Someone whose motivation lies with your well-being, not a commission check, to help you get through the evolution of a real estate investor.
Sure. Well, Ross, if folks want to learn more about Connected Investors, where should they go? What should they do?
ConnectedInvestors.com. You'll be able to check out the community there, and we also have our marketplace that we're launching called the CIX, and that's also a whole new way to buy and sell real estate. If you had more time, we can go into that, but you guys can just check it out.
Yeah, and when are you launching that? When is that coming on?
That's the $1 million question.
Yeah, web development always takes longer than you planned. I understand.
And because we have all these big institutional buyers using the platform, it's got to be absolutely perfect. So it's rolling out the third quarter of this year. So everything will be fully functional in the third quarter. Things will start to roll out over the next week or so for some of our existing members.
Great. Well, Ross, hey, thanks for your time today. Appreciate it, and I wish you all the best with the new Connected Investors as it rolls out.
Hey, thanks so much for introducing me to your folks, and I look forward to chatting with you some more.
Absolutely. We'll talk again soon, okay?
Bye.
Bye-bye. Are you a member of FlipNerd.com, the most robust real estate investing platform in existence, where you can find off-market wholesale deals and great vendors literally in your market? You can get access to advice from experts and learn about local clubs and events right in your backyard. If not, please visit FlipNerd.com and register for a free account. You can register in less than a minute. It's pretty much the coolest site that's ever existed in the real estate investing industry, so get on over to FlipNerd.com.